Your car battery didn't just die. It got murdered slowly, over weeks, by things you never even thought to check. And the worst part? Most drivers do at least 3 of the things on this list every single day without realizing it. We're talking about tiny, invisible power draws that work around the clock, draining your battery whether the engine's running or not. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which habits are quietly killing your battery and how to stop them before you're stuck in the driveway at 6 a.m. wondering what went wrong. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, interior lights left on. You get home late, you're tired, you grab your bags, and somewhere in the back of your brain you think you got everything. But the dome light's still on, and it'll run all night, pulling roughly 10 watts from your battery. That sounds tiny, right? But 10 watts at 12 volts is enough to kill a standard 60 amp-hour battery in about 6 hours. Most drivers assume there's an auto shutoff built in, and some cars do have that, but plenty of older models don't. And even the ones that do can have that timer disabled without you knowing. So you're trusting a system you've never tested to protect a battery you've never checked. The math is what gets people. A single dome light pulls less than 1 amp per hour, but if your map lights, rear dome, and footwell lights are all running together, you're looking at 3 to 4 amps. And overnight, that's 30 to 40 amp hours pulled from a battery that probably only holds 60 to 80 amp hours total. You could actually see the glow through the window if you looked back at the car. Most people don't. They walk inside and they're done. One quick glance back after you lock it costs nothing, and if your car has an interior light delay setting in the menu, turn it on and set it to 30 seconds. Number 2, phone chargers and accessories plugged in. You plug your phone in, you get where you're going, you grab the phone and walk away, but the charger cable stays in the port. That charger's still drawing power right now, and it'll still be drawing it tomorrow morning. A phone charger left in a powered 12-volt socket pulls anywhere from 1 to 4.5 watts in standby, and many cars keep those ports live after the ignition cuts off. That's a design choice, not a malfunction. Add a dash cam running in parking mode and it pulls 200 to 400 milliamps continuously, which works out to 5 to 10 amp hours per day. Park for a long weekend, and you've potentially lost 40 amp hours from a battery that needs to push 150 amps through the starter on Monday morning. These devices don't need to be actively doing anything to drain power. They're just waiting, and that waiting costs you. Check which ports stay live by leaving a charger plugged in after you pull the key and watching whether the indicator light stays on. Number 3, faulty door or trunk switch. There's a small plastic plunger switch tucked inside every door jamb and trunk latch, and its only job is telling the car whether the door is open or closed. When it fails, or when debris holds it in the open position, the car thinks a door is hanging open forever and keeps the interior lights running indefinitely. Trunk switches are actually worse because people use the trunk far less often, so a sticky switch can go unnoticed for days while a brighter than average bulb drains the battery dry. Did you know some cars also trigger a telematics ping every time a door open signal fires? A stuck switch could be waking up the entire connected services module repeatedly through the night. Press each door jamb switch manually with your finger and watch whether the interior lights go out. If they don't, that switch needs replacing, and the part typically runs under $20. Number 4, old or weak battery. A car battery doesn't quit all at once. It loses capacity gradually, cycle by cycle, and by the time it dies in your driveway, it's probably been struggling for months. A battery at 70% capacity still starts the car on a warm morning, so most drivers assume everything's fine right up until it isn't. Lead-acid batteries last roughly 3 to 5 years under normal conditions, but repeated deep discharges shorten that fast. CTEK found that over 87% of batteries returned under warranty weren't defective at all. They'd been run down too many times until the lead sulfate crystals hardened permanently on the plates. A battery tester costs about $20 at any auto parts store and takes 30 seconds to use. Number 5, parasitic drain from electronics. Your car's clock, radio presets, alarm system, and keyless entry receiver all stay partially powered after you shut the engine off, and every single one pulls current from the battery around the clock. Mechanics call this parasitic drain, and a small amount is completely normal. A healthy car draws somewhere between 50 and 85 milliamps in sleep mode. The problem starts when a module won't enter sleep mode properly, or a relay sticks, and the draw climbs to 300 or 500 milliamps without anyone noticing. At 300 milliamps, a 60 amp-hour battery goes flat in about 8 days. That's why people return from vacation to a perfectly dead car. To test it, connect a multimeter in series with the negative battery terminal. Wait 15 minutes for the modules to sleep and read the number. Anything over 100 milliamps means one circuit is staying awake when it shouldn't be, and AutoZone will run this test for free. Number 6, short trips only. Every cold start pulls 150 to 350 amps from the battery in a few seconds, and the alternator's job is to put that back. It can't do it in 3 minutes. An alternator outputs 60 to 100 amps while the engine runs, but the ignition, fuel injectors, headlights, and HVAC blower eat most of that. What's left over goes back into the battery, and on a short trip with the heater running, that leftover amount is close to zero. Do 3 or 4 short trips a day and you're pulling 150 amps out 4 times while putting almost nothing back. The battery drops below 12.4 volts, sulfation builds on the plates, and capacity starts shrinking permanently. One 30-minute highway drive per week gives the alternator enough time to actually recover the charge it's been losing all week. Number 7, corroded or loose battery terminals. Battery terminals corrode, and that white or blue-green crust around the posts isn't just ugly, it's resistance sitting directly in the charging circuit. Resistance there means the alternator can't push charge into the battery cleanly, and the battery can't push current out to the starter reliably. A loose terminal is actually worse than a corroded one, because the car starts fine 9 times, and then the connection flexes slightly on the 10th attempt, and the circuit breaks completely, leaving you with a dead-seeming car that has a fully charged battery 2 inches away. You won't believe how often a shop replaces a perfectly good battery because corroded terminals caused a voltage drop under load testing, and nobody cleaned them first. Number 8, extreme temperatures. The same battery that started your car without complaint in September can leave you stranded in January, and the battery didn't change. The physics did. Cold temperatures slow the electrochemical reactions inside the battery, so it delivers less current at the exact moment the engine needs more, because thickened winter oil makes the engine harder to crank. At 0 degrees Celsius, power output drops 20%. At -17, it drops 40 to 50%. Heat kills differently. High temperatures accelerate self-discharge and evaporate water from the electrolyte permanently, which shrinks capacity in a way that doesn't recover. A battery running through hot summers can lose a full year of lifespan compared to one in a milder climate. If your battery's over 3 years old heading into winter, replace it in October. Number 9, poorly installed aftermarket mods. Aftermarket audio systems, remote start kits, LED light bars, alarm upgrades. All of them add electrical load to a system that was engineered with a specific power budget in mind. When the installation is sloppy, which happens more than installers will admit, you end up with components wired directly to circuits that stay live after the ignition cuts off. A subwoofer amp on an always-on circuit pulls 200 to 500 milliamps in standby indefinitely. Stick around, because remote start systems cause more battery failures than any other aftermarket mod, because they have to stay partially awake at all times, and a poorly programmed module can stop the car's other systems from entering sleep mode, multiplying the drain across every ECU simultaneously. If you've added aftermarket electronics and the battery keeps dying, disconnect the component completely and measure the parasitic drain. If the number drops back below 85 milliamps, that component needs rewiring to a switched circuit by someone who actually knows automotive electrical work. Don't let a $200 upgrade kill a $150 battery every 6 months. Number 10. Key fob left near the car. This one surprises almost everyone. Your key fob and your car are in a constant conversation, and that conversation doesn't stop just because you walked inside and put the fob on the counter. Passive keyless entry systems work by broadcasting a low-frequency signal continuously, searching for a fob to respond to, and when your fob sits 3 feet away near the front door, it responds, which keeps the car's receiver module in an active state instead of dropping into sleep mode. A weak fob battery makes it worse. because failed handshakes trigger repeated retries. Some manufacturers have issued service bulletins recommending signal-blocking pouches specifically for this reason, and storing the fob in a metal tin also happens to block the relay attacks thieves use to steal keyless entry vehicles. Every item on this list follows the same pattern: small draws, invisible habits, and a battery absorbing damage quietly until it can't anymore. A dash cam, a corroded terminal, and a fob sitting 3 feet from the car might each be manageable alone, but stack all 3 on a 4-year-old battery in January, and you're standing in the driveway at 6 a.m. with a full day ahead of you and a car that won't start. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next video walks through exactly how to use a multimeter to track down a parasitic drain yourself. Step by step, no mechanic needed.